What's up, Gooners? Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because we've got 3 explosive stories to cover today. And honestly, the first one could be the biggest transfer news we've had in months. Gooners, this is huge. TBR Football is reporting that Rodrigo is once again considering leaving Real Madrid, and Arsenal have been directly informed that he could be available as soon as January. Let me give you the full context here because this situation has been brewing for months. Rodrigo was persuaded to stay at Real Madrid in the summer. His teammates, players like Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe, convinced him to stick around. But here's the problem. Everything Rodrigo was worried about has actually happened. He started just 2 games all season. 2 games. At Real Madrid, one of the biggest clubs in the world, the Brazilian winger is barely getting any minutes. Xabi Alonso, the new head coach, has made it clear he prefers other players. Franco Mastantuono and Arda Güler are getting picked ahead of Rodrigo regularly. Now, Alonso is apparently happy to keep Rodrigo at the club, but he has little intention of changing his role within the squad. And with Nico Paz likely to arrive in 2026 among other forward targets, sources are telling TBR Football that Rodrigo is now accepting that his long-term future may lie away from the Santiago Bernabeu. This is massive for Arsenal because we showed strong interest in Rodrigo during the summer. According to TBR Football's chief correspondent Graham Bailey, both Arsenal and Tottenham have been alerted to his possible availability in the new year via intermediaries. Bailey confirmed that Rodrigo's situation hasn't improved this season. He said Xabi Alonso always planned on making Arda Güler one of his key figures, and that has played out as expected. With teen starlet Franco Mastantuono also getting regular game time, there is little sign of how Rodrigo can find a route back into the lineup. Bailey added, "I am told that Rodrigo is again considering his options, and one possibility is a switch to the Premier League, which could become a real option in January. He is certainly one to watch as we approach the new year." So let's talk about what this means for Arsenal. Rodrigo is a world-class winger who's proven himself at the highest level. He's won Champions Leagues with Real Madrid, he's scored crucial goals in massive matches, and he's still only 24 years old. This is exactly the profile of player Arsenal should be targeting. We've been linked with left-sided attackers for months now, and Rodrigo can play across the entire front line. He's versatile, he's got pace, he's technically brilliant, and he'd fit perfectly into Mikel Arteta's system. The big question is whether Real Madrid would actually sell in January. Several clubs across Europe are aware of his potential availability, but it remains to be seen if Madrid would consider a mid-season deal. They might prefer to wait until the summer to maximise his value, but if there's even a chance we could get Rodrigo in January, Arsenal need to go all in. This is a player who could transform our attack and give us that extra quality we need to win the Premier League. Andrea Berta needs to be on the phone making this happen. One thing's for sure, Gooners, Rodrigo is one to watch very closely as we approach January. This could be massive. Arsenal eyeing Bundesliga left-back Nathaniel Brown. Now let's talk about Arsenal's latest defensive target, because Mikel Arteta is apparently still not satisfied with his left-back options. And honestly, at this point, it's becoming a running joke. According to Court Offside, Arsenal and Manchester City are weighing up the possibility of opening talks for Nathaniel Brown, the 22-year-old Eintracht Frankfurt left-back. Brown played a prominent role in Germany's run to the Under-21 European Championship final this summer, and he's been turning heads in the Bundesliga ever since. Aston Villa, Newcastle United and Manchester United are also reportedly monitoring him, so there's serious competition for his signature. Here's Brown's story. He joined Frankfurt from Nuremberg for around €3 million in January 2024, but he was immediately loaned back to Nuremberg for the rest of that season. Then in 2024-25, he became a regular starter at Eintracht Frankfurt, making 33 appearances in all competitions. He scored 3 goals and provided 7 assists, which are excellent numbers for a fullback. Brown's pace and technical ability have seen him emerge as one of the Bundesliga's most consistent young fullbacks. His market value is currently estimated at €22 million, and while he hasn't played at senior international level yet, he's eligible for both Germany and the United States. Now here's the thing about Arsenal's interest. This reflects a very familiar theme. Michael Arteta has Riccardo Calafiori and Miles Lewis-Skelly competing at left-back right now. You'd think that would be enough depth, right? But apparently not. Arteta likes to collect left-backs the way Arsene Wenger liked to collect attacking midfielders. It's becoming a pattern at this point. We've got multiple quality options in that position, but the manager keeps pursuing more. The challenge with signing Brown is that he's tied to Frankfurt until 2030, and there's no release clause in his contract. That means Frankfurt are under absolutely no pressure to sell. They can demand whatever price they want, and with interest from multiple Premier League clubs, they're going to test everyone's resolve. Arsenal have been linked with several Eintracht players over recent years. Hugo Ekitike and Omar Marmoush were both rumoured before their moves to the Premier League, but those links never amounted to anything. So we'll have to see if this one's any different. Personally, I think Arsenal's left-back obsession is getting a bit excessive. We've got good options there already. Maybe the focus should be on other areas of the squad. But clearly, Arteta sees something he wants in Brown, and if the manager thinks we need another left-back, then Andrea Berta will probably try to make it happen. €22 million isn't a crazy amount in today's market, but convincing Frankfurt to sell when they've got no reason to could be the real challenge. Alright, let's talk about Gabriel Jesus because there's been a lot of speculation about his future recently. But according to a new report from Sasha Tavalieri, Jesus is set to remain at Arsenal during the January transfer window, despite interest from other clubs, including his former side, Palmeiras. Jesus reportedly prefers to stay in London and fight for his place at Arsenal. His contract lasts until 2027, so he's got plenty of time left on his deal. And the player himself has made his intentions very clear in a recent interview published back in Brazil. Jesus said, "Every day the coach and the board say they're eager for my return. I don't see myself outside the club's plans. I have a contract until 2027, and if it's not renewed by then, I'll be at the club at least until 2027. He also addressed the Palmeiras interest directly. He said Palmeiras interest will always be there, both from them and from me. But there's been nothing formal. It's the natural interest of a kid who came through the Palmeiras youth system, went to Europe, and obviously wants to return one day. Everyone at the club knows that. When I feel like returning to Brazil, which isn't the case right now, my desire is and always will be Palmeiras. So Jesus is making it crystal clear. Yes, he loves Palmeiras. Yes, he wants to return there one day, but right now that's not his plan. He wants to stay at Arsenal, fight for his place, and prove himself in the Premier League. Now, we all know that what footballers tell the media and what they actually do are often two different things, but it's significant that sources behind the scenes are only reiterating Jesus' commitment to Arsenal. This isn't just public posturing. He genuinely wants to stay. And honestly, Arsenal would be crazy to sell him in January anyway. Jesus was in excellent form before his injury, scoring 6 goals in 6 games leading up to his FA Cup start against Manchester United in January. If he returns playing anything like that level, he'll provide a massive boost to the squad. It's also unlikely Arsenal would be able to get full value out of Jesus' sale in January, given his recent injury issues and his extended absence from the pitch. He's been out with an ACL injury for almost 10 months now, and while a recent video on his social media showed him taking part in shooting drills at London Colney, he's not expected back on the pitch until December at the earliest. So even from a purely financial perspective, it makes sense to keep Jesus until at least the summer window. Let him prove his fitness, let him get back to scoring goals, and then if a big offer comes in, Arsenal can consider it. But with Jesus making it so clear that he sees his immediate future in North London, it's now very likely he'll stick around. And honestly, that's good news for Arsenal. We need depth up front, especially with the schedule we've got this season. Victor Gyökeres has been excellent since arriving, but having Jesus back as an option gives Arteta more flexibility. Different styles, different skill sets, and both capable of scoring goals at the highest level. So for everyone worried about Jesus leaving in January, you can relax. He's staying, he's committed, and when he gets back to full fitness, he could be a really important player for us in the second half of the season. So there you have it, Gooners. What do you think? Gooners, do you want Arsenal to go all out for Rodrigo in January? Do we really need another left-back? And are you happy Jesus is staying? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an Arsenal update. We've got so much more coming your way. Until next time, Gooners. Come on, you Gunners.